All right. It is now 6:30, and I hope everybody had a good Christmas and a great Happy New Year. I want to welcome everybody to our first work session. Janice, Harold, always good to see you here in the front row for 2022. Starting with a work session Monday, January 10th, 2022. It is now 6:30. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with a committee/department report, starting with Planning and Development. Chairwoman Lisa Newberry.
Thank you, Mayor. We have one item to talk about tonight, and it is an amendment to one of our ordinances that has to do with signs. And in your packet, you'll see it. And basically, the last definition in the last sentence in the first paragraph is the change. The definition specifically does not include signs erected or temporary basis as part of a motion picture, television, or theater stage set and/or scenery. And that is to accommodate any current or future film, TV that want to come to town to film. That's right. Any questions about that? No? And talking to Robin, we can put that on consent. Right. So does everybody agree consent?
So I was wondering, it says on a temporary basis, but do we need to say, I don't know, if it's not a permit, right? I mean, would they do it by permit?
No, what we're doing is specifically exempting signs that any film company erects as part of the props. So it's not going to be permitted any differently than a prop or a set would be permitted within the city.
Right. But I guess when it says temporary, do we need to clarify that that is temporary as approved by the city or anything like that? I mean, do they have to?
No, the only language you could add is that the length of time the sign can be there is the same length of time that the prop would be up, or the scenery, or the set, or however you wanted to refer to it.
Do you want to make that change?
So does that mean that you could have a sign up as part of a movie prop for 2 years?
Only if the movie prop was up and they were filming for 2 years.
Is it considered part of the permit?
No.
Okay.
No. Now, I do want to be clear also, this is only for parts of the prop, the scenery, the set. Any other signage that anyone in the city wants to put up, including some sort of production company, has to comply with the ordinance. It's only signs that are erected as part of a fictional construct, if that makes sense, that are exempted from the definition. So for instance, if the production company wants to put up directional signs, crew coming here, all of those have to comply because they're not part of the sets and the prop. And again, this fictional construct that they are creating. Because if you look at the definition of sign, frankly, I think you could probably permit these type of things without this amendment, but this is just for the sake of clarity, because the definition as it's written pertains to people putting up signs for a specific purpose, to direct them to something, to do something, whereas what we're talking about here is entirely fictional. It's to do with the production.
Okay. You good?
I think so.
Okay. Any other questions? Any questions from the audience?
If I could just add one other thing too, Bill, I think that at some point in the future, we will need to do a film ordinance, and it may address some of the thoughts going through your head once we get to that point.
Right. I mean, I think the only reason this came up was because they were accessing city property or within our city streets or whatever. So, I'm thinking that if there was some private development, private property around town, and they came in and said, hey, I'm going to pay you to do a movie, and we might not have ever known about it, or they put a sign up and it could just stay there. And that's why I was wondering if there's any type of hook where they have to get permission from the city. I mean, which is not, we're going to grant it. I mean, but we have a little bit of control over them, what they're doing.
And I think that the way to do that is through a film ordinance, such as you can put up props and have sets and that sort of thing, but that process will be permitted as a whole at some point, which will also require removal of the props and the sets. Right now, we are accomplishing the same thing through contracts and agreements with the production company in the city that cover those same things. But at some point, I think we'll have to address it through a more comprehensive ordinance. This is just to, as I said, provide some additional clarity as far as the sign ordinance.
Could we add some language that it doesn't include any signs erected on a temporary basis as part of a city contracted? And the reason I'm asking is if you've got a YouTuber, let's say, in their house that wants to set up a ski slope, and they say, well, it's going to be on TV, this technically would get them out of it, and they could erect a 20 by 20 foot sign. Because this was done specifically for the movie that we're talking about downtown. Could we add some language to cover that, since we've got a gray area with the,
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So playing with that a little bit, and also what you're talking about, Bill, maybe we say that to the extent such filming has been approved by the city of Loganville.
that's kind of where I'm going with it.
Does that sound?
I would feel better about that.
Okay.
But at least I think it's great. Some more clarity.
Does
Okay.
that work for everyone?
Okay, so we'll put it on consent.
And I will circulate another draft in the morning to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Mayor, that's all we have.
That's all you got? So is this under consent? Is that what,
Yes.
Chairwoman? Yes? Okay. All right, coming down to Finance/Economic Development, Chairwoman Ann Henson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have two things on my agenda. One is in your packet, one is not. The Walton County elections invoice we received for the November elections has been submitted in the amount of $17,206.57. The breakdown is in your packet. Does anybody have any questions? This is just an approval to pay. Nobody has any questions? Everybody okay with consent? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. The other thing is the movie company contract. Do we have it yet? I don't think so, Robin. I'm going to,
Danny emailed it to all of you, I believe, before the holidays. And I'm sure you may or may not have read it. There were a lot of blanks in there. Basically, what they did was provide a form agreement that they normally use. I've been going back and forth, and Danny and I have had conversations with their lawyers. I sent another draft to them today. I expect, we're very, very close. I expect that contract to be finalized in a form that I would ask you to approve by Thursday night.
okay, so in that case, I won't put it on consent, and we can have it hopefully before Thursday's meeting?
Yes, as soon
Okay.
as I get a finalized copy of it, I will forward it to all of you.
Okay.
So that you can take a look at it.
Okay, thank you. And the other thing that I just want to mention, and I will actually add a little bit more to it on Thursday, I don't know if y'all are aware or saw the news that unincorporated Gwinnett lost their recycling, and they've had some serious trash issues going forward. I'll have an update from you from the commercial side of trash, but I think doing the increase we did last month was a good move, so.
Good.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Public Safety, Chairman Jay Boland.
Nothing for you tonight, Mayor.
All right, coming down to Public Utilities/Transportation, Chairman Bill Duvall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No, I have no items tonight. Thank you.
Sir?
Thank you.
Public Works/Facilities, Chairwoman Linda Dodd.
I have no actual items for tonight, Mayor.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Good to see you. Human Resources Chairman Danny Ford, he's out sick, from what I understand. Danny, you want
Yes.
to cover for him?
So what we have is the OPEB trust agreement. This is part of what we talked about last month. This is from GMA saying that we'll have to update our agreement with them. The last one was 2009, I believe. So once we have the language right from GMA and Robin agrees, I've asked for authority for the mayor to sign that agreement. It's to establish a trust for the life insurance, for the retirement insurance, and to say that we will use their actuaries for studies going forward. That's all he has.
Is that under consent? Is that,
I would ask for consent.
all right, consent, everybody good? Good for that? Yes. All right, so that item will be under consent, and that is it for Danny Ford, right, Mr. Danny?
Yes.
All right, coming down to City Manager's Report. We got some grooving on the green contract approvals, right?
Yes, these are the contracts. Some are under my amount, but they are contracts, so they need to be for the minutes. So we have 4 concerts and the fireworks show. We did go up on the fireworks show from the 11,000 to It's 13.5, but we put not to exceed 14,000 to get a little bit better firework. So this is something that Christy Daniel has been working on, so I would ask for a motion for that to be on consent as well.
All right, the Sky Folks, what type of band is that? The Sky, is that, am I reading it right?
Oh, that's Leonard
Sky Folks?
Skinner.
Oh, is that Leonard Skinner? Oh, Leonard Skinner, okay. And
Hey,
Rob,
Yeah, who's that Purple Madness? Is that Prince? Oh, that's sweet.
and Robert, did we try rumors, or we just conflict of interest, conflict of scheduling? We can't get a date. How about the Eagles? No? Okay, all right.
That's a good one, too.
Sounds good. So I'm assuming that departure will be back on the 4th of July.
No,
Oh,
we're
no.
changing it up as well.
Changing it up a little
Yep.
bit. Robbie, what's the ban for the 4th? Got it. How about for the 4th of July day? The Skinner, good deal. All right. I know Mr. Brandon would like that.
Just know that
All right.
the shows, what we're talking about, will be in June, not the first Saturday in July, because that's a holiday weekend, and
That's right.
we didn't feel we had enough staff that could adequately put the show on, so I moved it back the week before that.
Great.
I believe it's the 24th of June or something, that Saturday.
All right.
I have a
Any
question.
questions? Uh-huh.
On the Purple Madness tribute band, the contract is between Christy Daniel rather than the city,
Yeah, we can get them changed to city.
just as a note.
Yeah. We'll get them changed that. Thank you.
Just talking some stuff. All right, is this consent, I'm assuming, right? Consent, guys? All right, so the city manager's grouping on the green contract approvals and is on the consent. Anything else, Mr. Dean? We got the city attorney's updates and reports.
I have no actionable items this month.
Before I adjourn, what me and Jay were talking about is that somebody's going to have a birthday this Saturday.
Not me. Me and my wife.
You and your wife, okay, well, we're having a birthday and,
Yeah.
and,
Unfortunately, none of you are invited, so don't worry about it.
and I just,
No, I'm just kidding. Invites are going out.
and I'm
House
here,
party at the house. You guys know where I live.
and I'm here, kind
No-
of discussing.
No presents. Just come
No,
over.
no, I can't go to a birthday party and not bring anything, so I'm
Bring
trying to
Wendy
find
something.
out,
You can bring Wendy something.
what type of things we got to bring.
Nothing.
So, that's that's my favorite brand, right? Bring something?
Just bring some wine.
Bring some wine, okay.
Yes, they did.
I didn't say the number. I
Doesn't matter. All right. With that being said, you don't want to miss the next meeting on Thursday. It'll be our last with Lisa, of course, Danny and myself. And we welcome all the new council members in, and of course, to retain you and the new mayor. So we look forward to that. It's going to be, I really believe, real quick, this is the greatest, and I keep saying it over and over again, the greatest nation in the world where we have a peaceful transfer of power. And I tell you, and there's not a lot of countries that go through what we go through, where you have a peaceful transfer of power. And I'm so glad we live in the city, and I'm so glad we live in the state and this country, the greatest country. So you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss that. But anyway, enjoy the football game, right? Everybody wants to go home. Enjoy the football game. I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Meeting, enjoy the night. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's right. I have no idea what you're saying, but I'm saying okay.
Hey, Skip. Skip.